You can watch the stream.
Are we live? Yeah, I think we're live. Let's double check just to make sure.
I don't see it on.
I see us on Twitch.
It shows that there's a delay.
It's nothing on YouTube. It just says waiting for Freedom Gaming TCG.
I think there's a delay on my end. Oh, yeah, we are live. There is a delay.
On YouTube?
Yeah, I'm looking at us now.
Do it, John. Let's do it. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
First time, boys.
What's going on, Illumineers? Welcome to a very special Freedom Gaming podcast. We are live. As you can see, technical difficulties and everything. We're trying to figure this one out. Trying a new format, as we do have a special announcement, which is going to do later in the pod. But we got a couple things to talk about here. And as you can see, we are a full 5-stack plus an additional guest. He's Illuminati, but you know what? We'll let him in for this one only. We will. Per usual, I'm John. Hanging out with you guys, hosting per usual. And I guess we'll start with our special guest. So from Illuminati, and I guess technically Southside Gaming now as well. We have Emerald Weapon or Stefan. Stefan, finally getting you on. How are you? And thanks for hopping on with us tonight.
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be on here before Hector as well. So
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say it, and I was just like, you know what?
Yeah, poor Hector. But yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name's Stefan Delgado. I'm here to represent not only Team Illuminati, but I am also the marketing and technology director over at Southside Gaming. So I wanted to come on here to make a special announcement, but just like the guy said, we'll go ahead and talk about some other things first while we're waiting for a couple people to join us.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, like glad we were able to finally get you on. It's definitely, the pleasure is all ours. And then I guess we'll just go around the horn. Top left, we got Mike. Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's super nice that sometimes you have to guess when you say top left, top right on Discord, but not on this. I think it's the same for everybody, so I know you're talking about me, so that's nice. Yeah, I'm doing great. I got to watch quite a bit of Lorcana content this weekend. I feel like everybody's eyes are, on this week, so it's a very vested interest with a lot of people for Lorcana.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of big events we'll talk about, and then obviously, a small event going on in Anaheim, California that a couple of us are going to be attending. But it's all right. We may not touch on that one. We'll see.
Missed out on my ticket, but happy to see that a couple of you guys are going.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
We'll get there soon enough for sure. Next up, right next to him, we got Joey. Joey's still repping his. So Joey's still riding high off his great placing, So he can still hang for a little bit and watch. He's gonna go in like 0-2 drop, and he'll be like, we'll see him for like 2 weeks.
No, doing great. Super excited to be live. Trying out this new platform, trying out this new method of delivering the pod, and super excited to start talking about this announcement that we got going on later, and potentially some giveaways that we're going to be doing on some YouTube stuff as well.
Yep, definitely. So be on the lookout. We have a lot of fun stuff on this pod / live stream. Making his graceful return that everyone has asked about. We got Michael. Michael, welcome back. People thought you died.
Wow, that's pretty
too far.
Wow, that's pretty dark. That's pretty dark. Yeah, no, I'm still alive and kicking. It's been very busy, and just happy to be back into Lorcana. I've been playing, played some last week. Played the Octo tournament, and it's been good to be back in. Miss you guys. Sorry I haven't been able to get on here, and happy to be here today with this new live format.
Yeah, for sure. To be fair, the last time everyone saw you, it was a video from the back of the van.
Oh man!
Oh man, maybe this guy got kidnapped. Like, what happened to him?
Now, living the van life. Well, my wife and I have a camper van, and we'll take it out sometimes, and it's a great way to enjoy the world for sure. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Can't wait till I'm old and retired and can do that.
Don't wait too long. I'll tell you that.
Yep, for sure. And last and certainly not least, we got Brian right next to me. Brian, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic, man. Once again, Happy New Year's to everyone. Glad you guys are all able to join us. We have so many announcements to make, so much awesome news to pass on to the community. And this week, again, all these great events that just happened. The Octo Case tournament was phenomenal, as we touched on. LCQ coming up this weekend. All eyes on the LCQ, all eyes on preparation leading up to it. I know 3 of us were fortunate enough to snag tickets. We will be going there and riding high, enjoying the very first NA LCQ. I'm so stoked to not only hang out with all our friends, but obviously compete with some of the best Lorcana players in the country. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people flying in from, other places, but I am so stoked to get over there. Thursday cannot come soon enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great time for sure. Also, guys, as we are live, we do have a live chat. So if anyone has anything they want to say, see, there we go. See, perfect timing. Wochuk saying what's good. Like, see, like it was like right on time, like perfectly. It's almost like he knew. It's almost like he just
I will
felt it.
say, just to point out, I think I figured out what was going on. The landing page that we sent originally was not linking to the video, so I sent a new link out. So tell your friends, get them in here before we do this announcement. So yeah, live chat. We get to talk to you guys while we're talking about Lorcana. What's better than that?
Exactly, guys. It's not like normal how like you normally we're just talking about Lorcana. You're like, man, I really wish I could ask a question. Now you can ask a question. We're talking checklist. We're talking about what we're gonna do, what we're planning for LCQ, any side events we're looking to do. Maybe you have a question about this giveaway that Brian's about to announce right now for our channel for 3, 4, and 500 subs. So Brian, this is kind of your idea. So why don't you spearhead this one?
Absolutely. I love doing giveaways. We are once again doing 3 back-to-back giveaways. So as we hit our goals of 300 subs, 400 subs, and 500 subs, we'll be doing individual giveaways for each one. The first one's going to be the last store championship promo Mirabelle at 300 subs. So anybody who's subscribed, past and future, you guys will all be qualified to be able, earn a Mirabelle. At 400 subs, we're going to be bringing on a non-foil promo Cusco from the LCQ. We'll make sure we keep one separated for everybody for one of our lucky viewers. And last but not least, at 500 subs, Joey has been kind enough to share some of his prize support, and he's going to be giving away a sealed fresh box of Azurite Seas. So please head on over to our YouTube channel, hit the like, sub button, and make sure you guys are in there so you guys can earn some of that.
Yep.
In the comments.
It was a great comment for sure. And also something that I didn't mention before, I didn't mention about our giveaways that I'm just throwing this out there right now. I'm actually going to throw in one of the Mickey pins.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
cool.
Those are awesome.
Yep, I got a couple when I was at PAX. So I think, and then one of my friends gave me. So I have a couple extra ones to spare. So that'll be in the 300 on top of the Mirabelle that
nice.
That lucky winner.
And with that, please guys, be on the lookout for any messages that we might shoot you guys, because we obviously need your information. On our previous giveaway, we had to try to hunt down the winner, and it took forever. But again, 300 subs, we're doing a giveaway, 400 subs, and the 500 sub mark.
And guys, if you're just tuning in, that is a Freedom Gaming announcement, but that is not
the major
announcement. So don't shut it off yet. Trust me, we got a lot more to get into.
They're like, wait, that's the announcement? Just one box getting given away?
And Carlos, it's not announcing that I'll be playing Blurple forever, even though I probably will. Happy to see all you guys in the chat. So awesome.
Oh my gosh.
That's right, Chuck. You heard it here first.
Yeah. 1,000 subs, my God.
Chuck over here just
Oh no.
After Mike grinds in on Friday, he'll go take off his shirt, start whipping it around.
I think I'd probably get banned from Disneyland. Not even just Lorcana, they'd probably ban me from Disneyland.
Or maybe it'll be like the opposite, where if what the girls used to think, how if they wore a scandalous shirt, they would get a free one. They'd be like, oh yeah, here they get a free shirt, you can stay.
No.
So on the topic of LCQ, obviously LCQ is this week, as myself, Mike, and Brian are all lucky enough to play. Joey could not make it, so Joey threw his back into the pool. So hopefully someone nice got it on their wait list. But the PPG was kind enough to announce the side event schedule for on Friday. I believe they announced it. And it's pretty cool for the most part. Obviously, the big thing, you have team constructed. So 6, you got to use all 6 inks. 3v3. So it's going to be some fun stuff there. Multiplayer games. That sealed chaos one is probably interesting. I find interesting just adding like who knows what packs you're going to get. I've joked about having like a chaos pack rush type thing. Freedom Gaming After Dark. Yeah, I guess kind of. And then obviously like the different core constructed things. So if any of us happen to not grind in, we'll be playing. And those, or maybe any attendees are looking to play. And those go on sale tomorrow. The tickets go on sale. So if anyone wants to pre-register for those, they can. And then like it says on the far right, you can see they're doing a bunch of really cool on-demand events, especially that set 1, set 2 draft. So I might have to find my way into some of those, unless I'm busy, winning the tournament or something. But
it's so hard with like these kind of events, like planning out your week on what you're gonna do for each day. Because obviously you're there for one main goal, and you're like, am I giving into the logic or feeding into bad thoughts, negative thoughts by pre-ordering? No, you should probably just try to schedule yourself so you have all those tickets available to be able to play in as many events as possible. But it's a weird thought, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But what's great too is that the events are refundable. So like you can just like, for example, let's see what's going on Sunday. So like that chaos event, I feel like based on the previous DLCs, that'll sell out. If it hasn't already. But like anything that pretty much has access to the earlier sets have sold out immediately. What I will say is that I believe this is first outside of the DLCs, but on demand set 1 and set 2 draft. So that leads me to believe that they've secured enough product to have that going on throughout the whole weekend, which is super awesome. People who are getting into the game much later that were able to get a ticket to this event have the opportunity to get older product, hopefully at a conversion that's a decent price versus trying to buy it retail right now. So super happy for some new players to be able to experience that.
I also think the best part is on like Friday. Obviously, the LCQ is a one and done type event, and so like as early as 11, you can hop right into an event if you dive out in the first round like pretty quickly, and having access to all of those different events later in the day.
And you get tickets too, right? Like if you don't,
I believe there's prize wall too.
Yeah, go right into one of those events.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I believe if you bomb out on the second and third round, you get like 2 tickets into the turbo zone or whatever it's called. So those look super interesting. Those you get guaranteed of the Baymax and the Cusco promos, from what I understand. So, and then we did have a question about them. Somebody in the comments. Never been to an actual Orcon event. Do you need to purchase a ticket in order to participate in side events, or are they available to the general public? I believe the correct answer is you either need to have a competitor's badge or an attendee badge to get into the event to begin with, and then those would be separate events. And you can either sign up through Melee, if I remember correctly, or just go to the PPG stand event coordinator and they'll sign you up right there. But every single time that I've seen people try to sign up at the event, it's typically a pretty long line.
There is a benefit to going to the booth though, because sometimes if an event caps out, they will over enroll and let a couple of people in. I did notice that happening in Seattle. I didn't pay attention much in Vegas just because I was focusing on my events. But I would see like the chapter 1 draft cap out, and then I would refresh and see it was like I don't know, like 132 of 128. I'm like, wait a second, that math ain't mathin'.
The worst was Atlanta, just with just waiting in the line, and then they fixed that.
Oh, that was rough. Yeah, they had
Atlanta was brutal.
But not for nothing. George is in the comments here, and I remember George didn't get the competitor badge for Atlanta.
Printing
he was
tickets,
hustling that very first day on. I think it was Saturday, right? And the tickets were incredibly hard to come by. They were not as abundant. So George was on the sideline grinding the side events,
teaching people how to play and taking tickets.
Yeah.
I believe his phrase was, "I'm printing tickets right now, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I mean, the benefit that you also got too for the outage is that they doubled the tickets
Yeah.
as they were able to either get the system fixed or manually sign you in. So like, I walked out. I got a Rapunzel, I got a Cinderella, and I got I think it was a Tinkerbell mat.
Yeah, I think we did something like I got a Cinderella. Someone got a Mike got a Rapunzel.
Yeah, we got
I think
like
Mike
4.
Yeah, we got like a bunch of Rapunzels. I got Mike got a Tinkerbell mat, I think. I think that was when those were hard to come by.
For sure.
And Mike grabbed one. Yeah, it was like that was definitely fun. And then it got better obviously as they like started giving it for like
it was
placement
really
and
nice
everything.
to see the incremental improvements made from Atlanta up until like Seattle was just, you would almost think it was a completely different organization running the event.
Yep. That's how Toronto felt too.
And it's just so nice to see those improvements, and I can't wait to see the pictures that you guys will be taking over there next weekend. And I, just like when I, selfishly speaking, when I was watching some of the production from the EU Continentals for some inspiration, the way they do it over there is just amazing. I hope that the production is they really step it up in the US, because EU is just
I think we've seen that from
Atlanta.
From Atlanta to where we're at now, they've been going. Every single tournament has been much better, and I think they are taking cues from them, because I feel like Ravensburger probably wants a seamless product across all formats if possible. And
for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we get the big thing for me, honestly, is just making it an actual live stream, like with the headphones and everything, like they have in EU, as opposed to like the pre-recorded stuff. Like it was like kind of awkward, like obviously just talking from experience, like from Toronto. It was just awkward, like saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm on stream," and then everyone was like, "When are you gonna be on stream?" I'm like, "I don't know, like 2 hours." Whenever they decide to air it. So like that was like just like a timing thing. So like even after I went to go check to see where it was, and I had already missed my round, like when it was live technically. So then I ended up just like, so we all just watched it later. But yeah, so it was just that was probably the one. That's my one gripe. So that's the one thing I hope that they fix for it. Like kind of else, definitely for Worlds, obviously, especially being over here. But yeah, like everyone was saying, it's been an incremental improvement, like in all different kinds of ways. There's George talking about his tickets. Yeah, he definitely printed them in Atlanta for sure. So just in the lead up, obviously with LCQ, there were a couple big events this past week. We had a couple like quad cases. We had a quad case yesterday in I believe it was California. They had like 90, 95, 96 people somewhere around there.
Yep.
And it was there was a top 4 split, but it was three Ruby Sapphires and the lone Amethyst Steel.
Yep.
So that was pretty good. And then there was another one in, I believe it was New York, at the gaming company, I believe it was called. There was 50 players, and that one had a pretty solid top 4 as well. We had Amber Steel. Then we had the Mine version. We had Mike's favorite deck from someone who I actually know, who I met in Columbus playing Blurple. Which we got that list right here, which Michael talked about. And then the last part of the top 4 was a cool new, it's not really new, Ruby Amethyst, the deck that just never dies. So me and Mike have some interesting things that we found out about this list. Obviously, the one of Cog is quite cool, but the 3 Let It Goes, just saying,
3 Let It Goes is a choice.
Yeah, that is a choice when you're playing 3 Hades for sure. As you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna lose every Emerald matchup, but I'm gonna beat everyone else.
I mean, you have a lot of removal, so if they ever do run out of gas, you're probably doing really well. But before I really nitpick the list on what I like and stuff like that, the announcement's still coming, guys. So stay tuned. That is coming shortly. And I do want to hit on. I saw Liam mention in the chat that there's a ton of reasons to do a delayed versus live, and I agree. It's sometimes harder because so many of us are connected with a lot of the players, and it's so easy for them to see how they did. And we also have Melee, so that's the other problem. Like you have Melee, you can just go and see what happens. It's unfortunate. I do it unintentionally sometimes. Like, oh man, I just saw who won. It's hard. But like I completely understand there are give and takes for things like that, especially a tournament at the size that they're doing. So I completely understand.
I think they could just delay it maybe 10-15 minutes instead of like the 2 hours or so
But
that they do.
it is true. There could be some like legal reasons or like something with like recording and everything. Like it may be a little more lax in Europe as opposed to
Could be.
like the US or in Canada, something along that. Which that I definitely never thought about that. That does make sense. But then I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But then like 'cause Pokemon does it live too, so I don't know. It could again. It could be some behind the scenes stuff that we're just not aware of.
But did
Yeah.
you see the repercussions of them doing it live? What was it, like a couple of months ago?
Was it the oh yeah, Ian Robb, yeah,
Yeah,
Ian Robb
that's
Worlds,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of see Liam's point, but yeah, imagine that happening at a DLC, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a great celebration planned if I had 2-0'd my match, but
Oh my god.
Oh no.
no,
I completely agree with you too, Liam. There's definitely sides. I do want to pull this comment up from Anthony and Corey. We are not SSG, so I wish we said that we did that, but that is all SSG. We're
Yep.
happy to be players in their tournaments and part of the community down here, but I do not want to take credit for the awesome event that they threw on. We have been spoiled with what we're going to be able to share you guys a little later. But it does have to do with SSG, so you'll see that coming soon.
It is our home store for some of us, and
Yep,
we absolutely just rake in the benefits from it, and we just love playing there. It's such a great store.
But this list, as John mentioned, the 3 Let It Goes is interesting. I am not the biggest fan of Let It Go personally, especially as more than one of. I like it when you're playing 2 Hades to have that extra removal for something like Shark. But it obviously worked really well for Richie. So, I mean, kudos to them. I'd be curious on what they played throughout Swiss. I did actually send them a message on Twitter because I was curious. Just because if you're doing Let It Go early, you're almost taking away some of your blue advantage, right? Like, especially in a purple mirror, like if you're playing against green purple, you're playing against purple steel, all the above, right? Once you start giving them the Let It Go ink, and that's early enough that you're just going to neutralize your ink advantage.
You're ramping at that point, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but I could see it late game just when they're starved on cards and you just have multiple Let It Goes in your hand, like that. How do they ever win at that point? So
yeah, for sure. Or you could even do something like sing Let It Go with Hades, bounce the Hades back, Hades something in. Like, granted, you're giving them a bunch of ink and stuff, but like, yeah, like just starving them at that point for sure. But no, it's a great list. Like, even like looking at like the rest of the meta, like there was a good bit of Ruby Amethyst, but a good bit of Amber Steel as well, though. So like just navigating those trickier matchups for sure. So shout out to them there. And then there were 2 Amber Steel lists. I know Stefan is a very firm Amber Steel player. And you wanted to talk about them. There was the one that won. It looks like it was more of a standard list for the most
I'm going to switch over to those. I just want to answer this question real quick. So asking if CJ MTZ is asking if he thinks this deck will do well on Friday. I mean, we'll see.
I hope it's played on Friday. I hope I see 31 of them in my pod.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. It really is. Just to talk a little bit about the LCQ as a whole and the pod system. You're prepping, like, you could take, I don't know, a sample of 1,000 people. What's 32 people of 1,000? That's 3%.
3.2%.
Yeah, 3.2% exactly. So you could get all of the same color people in one pod, statistically speaking. I mean, very, very, probably not going to happen, but that could be like the way that these things work out. You could prep to say, all right, I can beat 3 of the top meta decks, but man, I lose so hard to the 4th meta deck. And your pod could be filled with that 4th meta deck, and you don't have a good time. Yeah. It's hard. 32 people is such a small sample size, especially when you compare it to the 1,000. I think this deck is very good. I think there's like 50 cards on every Blurple deck, and then there's like 10 that people kind of switch around.
Yep.
This wouldn't be the 10 that I would pick, but I'm not gonna shy away. I mean, they got third with this list, so obviously
maybe you guys are overthinking the Let It Goes. Maybe this man had 3 of the DLC promo Let It Goes, and he just wanted to flex on everybody he was playing against, right? So you never know.
Yeah, it could be. Hey, it could be that for sure.
Let me put it this way: when I played Richie in Columbus, I wish they were playing purple instead of the Emerald Steel Mirror that we played twice in back-to-back days.
Appreciate that, Henna. Yeah. Again, I just wanted to make sure they knew that it was SSG's event, not ours. We're happy to promote your guys' events down here as well. But going to the Amber Steel stuff that we were talking about, this is the more the dwarven version,
The
I
dwarven
guess you
line,
could
yep.
say. And I'll let Stefan take it from here.
Yeah, so I've actually been quite interested in playing this list. I tried out a proxy version of it initially, and I think I still need to break that traditional Steel Song mindset, because in the reality of it, this is an Amber Steel aggro deck. It's not really Steel Song. So got to kind of know when to turn characters sideways and really put the pressure on. But we can, if we take some of the characters that are used across both decks. For example, you've got the Piglets, the Lawrence. Kita's kind of neat. You know, the neat thing about Kita when she was initially revealed, and like, oh, why would you put her in an Amber list? Because 8-drop Sisu just deletes everything. But this deck really doesn't care. Big Sisu's gonna have a big impact anyway, so might as well secure the other matchups that you have, and secure the Piglets, secure the Lilos and the Pluto, to just really, like, if you see these matchups. Another one that I'd like to kind of point reference to was Mark, that made it to the top 8 in the last SSG event. If you watch his matches, it's just those Lilos can be so oppressive in the right position.
For sure.
And
Zombie
he was
Lilo.
also playing Kita as well. So
Kita is it's one of those. It's not to cut you off, but it's one of those really interesting cards where, like, it's amazing in. Shout outs to Tiana. Huge announcement. Back to the Kitas, like, it's one of those cards that it's like amazing in certain matchups, and then against Ruby, it's just ink, which is fine.
Exactly.
Like, that's exactly what you want it to be. Like there are cards like you want for specific matchups. Like, say you play 2 to 4 of them, but then at the end of the day, like, you're just like, oh, that's instant ink. Like that's my ink for the turn. Like, if you hit that, or if you hit it off a mulligan, you're like, I don't need this. Like, obviously, like, not in a blind mulligan situation.
Dad, anything you want to say about this? I know you've been playing a very
Yeah.
list of this.
Yeah, so I originally picked it up Friday before the Octo tournament. I wish I had more play with it before going into Saturday, because I'm a big fan of this deck now that I've played it more. Played it on, was that Friday? Friday night. And won. Split with Freddie, actually. I shouldn't say won. We were getting late, and who was also an Amber Steel player from Illuminati. But there were 17 players there on Friday at SSG. Shout out to SSG again. But but you've got to know the lines on this deck.
Very true.
A great thing to do sometimes is hold Lilo and play your dock, discard Lilo. Now it's in your discard. You've drawn 2 more cards, and you can play that Lilo again next turn or later on if you need it. And then one thing I do is I put a marker on my deck to remind me that Lilo's in discard. So before I draw a card, if I need to play Lilo, I play Lilo. It's great in some matchups. Kita, you just got to know if you're playing red blue, Sisu could be coming. You don't want to put all your deck to be vulnerable to being discarded, especially Pluto. It plays well, it stays under, but you Daisy, first turn, second turn, Cinderella Daisy. It's tough. It's tough to beat that on your first 2 turns. Great deck, and I think in this meta right now, it's really good. I did struggle against Amber Steel Shift. Robin Hood's a problem. Definitely Zeus is a great card. Along Came Zeus is very powerful. So not having that in this deck, does it need it? No, because it's a different style. So it's not your typical Steel Song. I do say if you're going to play this, you've got to practice with it. The mines are fantastic. In the right matchup. When you're going against purple and they've got the foxes and they've got the crab,
Crabs,
you've got to kind of play around that. Know what you're going against. But overall, I've really enjoyed this deck, and I'm looking forward to tinkering with it even more.
Yep, there's definitely a lot of really interesting plays you can make, especially with, like, moving the stuff to the mine, or even, like, I played a match. It's like circumstantial, but they had 2 mines out and they were just moving a happy or a dock. I think it was a dock back and forth, and I was like, oof, God, this is 4 damage a turn, and it's not fun to play against. Especially when there's like, oh, I don't need to draw cards, but I could just clear your entire board.
John, there's a question for you.
how is the Emerald Steel matchup with this deck? Selfishly, I'll say it's terrible. You shouldn't play Emerald Steel, but no, I actually I kind of figured some stuff out with the matchup a little bit after playing it, and I personally love this matchup. I don't mind the Amber Steel matchup, just personally, just from my comfort level with it. I know a lot of it's definitely not it's not a favorable matchup, but specifically the mine version is very much in your favor. You just have to kind of know the lines about what to do. So you don't want to do your traditional like shift Diablo. Like nine times out of 10, 99.9% of the time, you're gonna want to go. You want to look like Diablo, shift Diablo, play Storm, play Cove, whatever. You really don't want to do that in this matchup. You kind of want to get some muses and then just bounce their entire board.
Yeah.
So one thing I did, I went like turn one if I have one, cool. Turn 2, you can go more for Ursula, and then even if the Ursula doesn't hit anything, like that's fine. You just want the body. Turn 3, you can go Deceiver of All, and then turn 4, you go Muses, bounce 2 things, and or like focus on like a burn spell to get rid of a Calhoun, to get rid of a Smee, a Lawrence or something like that. Obviously, if they play Pete on 3, then it's kind of tough. But again, you want to kind of set up your board state so like the lore doesn't really matter as much. Personally, again, that's kind of just my observations of the deck. Like, so you kind of have to, once you know that this is what you're playing against, you can kind of mulligan just to kind of get yourself into that Muses situation. Then you just start bouncing. You just never turn Muses sideways, and then like Lilo back to hand, Daisy back to hand, stuff like that.
So what John's saying is, if you're playing in the LCQ this weekend, play this version of the deck.
Yeah, this version smashes every other deck, especially Emerald Steel.
Yeah, it's funny too because even a while back playing against Amber Emerald, yeah, like Muses can be really oppressive against Amber Steel decks.
Yep.
You know, especially like you have Lawrence, you have Pluto, which kind of have similar effects. Everybody can pretty much be under the 2 attack threshold. And you think getting Rapunzel bounce back to your hand is nice, but if you have no other characters on board to heal with, it's really bad.
Yep.
I think closing out games is so tough against Muses in general.
Yep.
Just because there's so many ways to negate attack and bounce it back to their hand. The tempo loss is just crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, and then in a traditional Steel Song list, usually have things like Cinderella Stouthearted that can get through Muses. In this case, there's not one card here that gets you through that without Muses turning sideways. So, you know, it can kind of be really oppressive, borderline GG at that point.
Yep. That's a very like niche matchup too. That like Emerald Steel is still a deck that you need to know how to play against. Whereas, but it's not one of those things like it's like the S of S tier like it was in maybe set 5.
Yeah, it's not the boogeyman that it was.
Exactly, it's not the boogeyman. So yeah, everyone stop complaining about Diablo, please. Let me keep playing my Green Bird.
We got a probably 5-minute warning, I'd say, on the announcement, guys. So stay tuned, it's coming. We got one more deck list to look at, so I'll go ahead and pull that one up. And this is another.
There we go.
More Steel Song.
This is something. Feels a little bit closer to home.
Yep.
So this one I particularly like because you know, the red-blue matchup definitely feels a lot easier with the Diggy Diggy Hole variant of the Amber Steel. However, the inclusion of World's Greatest Criminal Minds, Zeus, and stuff really help against, you know, the Tamatoa, Maui Half Shark, stuff like that. So you just got to kind of like, you know, navigate through exhausting a lot of their hand resources, playing around B preps and big Sisu and stuff like that. And I think this deck can still do very well. You know, it's comfortable. If I don't know if you guys recall much of the team versus team match that we had, me versus Mikey. This list looks very, very similar to what I ran. So you know, probably something that if I don't really get Diggy Diggy Hole down for set champs, I'll probably stick to a list similar to this. You know, as much as I rely on Freddie for advice, he's just built different on Steel Song. He'll make some
64
choices.
cards.
I know. He makes some choices. Well, right out the gate when Azurite Sea came out, he was all about that new Amber location He's like, I gotta make this work. I forgot what it does. I think something. Oh, what one of your characters is banished here, you gain 1 lore. So I think he won a pretty big tournament with it because he kept throwing his cheat. Like, he didn't mind getting the
Ursula's
Robin.
Garden or something like that. I think it is.
No, not Ursula's Garden. It was we gotta look it up. But from the effect that I do remember is that every character that's banished here, you gain 1 lore. So he essentially would just play characters, toss them at that location, and he's like, "Go ahead, B prep me. Go ahead, Big Sisu me. I can close the game out." So that was his argument against
100 Acre Island.
Yep, there you go. So that was his argument against, because he's not a big fan of Baloo, and I am.
I love
So
Baloo.
he was doing that for a while, but he hasn't played that location. I don't know, might come back again. He's just built different.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that came out that I see from obviously like the 4 Zeus is wild. And then the two Criminal Mind, I know that's kind of come back, like maybe it's like a 1 of, or I guess 2 of, so that's pretty cool. But the 3 Naveen is something I know that's kind of, what is it? Chuck obviously hates it. DeCandio, was it DeCandio that said you have to play 4? It's the best card in the game. And then that's smart.
Naveen and 4 Zeuses is a necessary evil right now due to Genie.
Shark.
Again, you've got the half shark, like Big Sisu. It lit like, sure, your board gets wiped, but then that gives you a fighting chance back in if they can't deal with Naveen. There's a potential whole new world right around the corner, and that can just launch you right back in the game.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. So but so shout outs to all these players, top 4ing, like splitting and still getting there in these larger events. Just getting right for the LCQ if they're going. Even if they're not, I mean, still just getting a good performance under their belts. So
Before,
all right, so that's the end, guys. All right, have a good night. Bye. Peace. No, I am only kidding. So thank you everyone who is here. I hope you guys are all ready. We do have a big announcement. So this is
45
why we do have
viewers in chat. That's wild.
Oh yeah,
let's go.
Thank you for everyone for being here.
Yep, thank you guys. We appreciate you all being here, hanging out with us on this Sunday night. So I guess without further ado, we got Stefan here with a great announcement. So Stefan, why don't you go and take this away as our SSG representative?
Awesome. Thanks again, guys, for everyone tuning in. SSG is a huge fan of the local Lorcana community as well as nationwide. And we want to show our thanks to the community by throwing our first ever cash tournament. We originally thought of a 1K, but if anybody who has been to an SSG tournament already knows, that's not how we roll. We wanted to make an impact. We wanted to thank the players again for trusting us, believing in us, and running these events. So yes, South Florida Lorcana Network and SSG are proud to announce our first 10K cash tournament. $25 entry. Doors open at 9 o'clock. Be there, or Ronald will be very upset at the time. But in all seriousness, yes, we definitely want to get you guys in, get the tournament started. This is going to be a very, very big tournament. We are going to make sure we're staffing appropriately for it. A lot more floor judges this time around. We also have a guest commentator that will be joining us as well too. Do you have a slide for that?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
If you want to go ahead and lead off with who that will be?
Yeah, definitely. So Dan from the Forbidden Mountain will be joining us.
Yes.
He'll be joining the commentary staff and bring his wealth of knowledge in Lorcana alongside Gabe and Skinner. So we're really excited about that. We do hope to see a lot of you come through. So with that being said, I will go ahead and update the tournament with the correct name. I will also share that link, that Melee link in chat.
Yeah. Share the link. Share the link.
So you guys gotta get in this. I'm jealous I'm not playing. Mikey quit commentary. I'm losing next tournament, I'm losing my entire staff.
Mikey said he has bills to pay. He's got to take over his 10.
I know he's got
to go win some money.
Feed.
Yeah, guys, there's been 3 SSG events so far, and if I'm not going to put this kind of pressure on them, but you know they're going to sprinkle some stuff on top, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, whether it's, I just know there's going to be something else coming.
Yep.
And again, I don't want to set this expectation for them or anything like that, but I'd plan the whole weekend to come down. You know, Friday normal locals at SSG, so you could come the day before and get some reps in with some of the local crowd, and then the tournament Saturday, and who knows, man? Like, I'm just saying, be ready, plan the whole weekend. Don't do what I did when I went to Charlie's and leave early. Like, you know, just there's a lot of stuff to do in South Florida. So so get on down here. $25 for a 10K is absolutely bonkers.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just want to add into, you know, there can be other events that, you know, want to have a large prize pool, but obviously, you know, there's a larger entry fee. And again, this just is, you know, if you can do the math right away and realize that this doesn't, you know, this math ain't mathin'. But we definitely want to, again, continue to support the Lorcana community. You guys continue to show up, give it your all. You know, we have great streams, great players that come down. Like Brian, how many miles do you have?
Frequent flyer miles here.
Yeah, man. Like this, I think I've driven down the last two.
Yeah,
the city is Margate, Florida.
Yep,
by the
Margate,
way,
Florida.
close. We're in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, so you can fly into Fort Lauderdale. You can fly into Miami,
even
both
TBI.
of those, yeah, all of those. You know, hopefully you guys have great rates on flights, but Fort Lauderdale should be pretty. It's the closest one. It's a pretty straight shot, like 20-30 minutes into Margate.
And with that as well, like join the South Florida Lorcana network as well on Discord.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Like, you can chime in with us, and we can help you guys out with like hotels or anything like that we know of that are good in the local area. Help set up for the Friday events the night before, stuff like that. The community is great on the South Florida Lorcana network. Very friendly, a lot of good information, a lot of knowledge in there about the game and whatnot. So.
And not for nothing, people come in vacation South Florida anyway, right? So maybe make a trip out of it. For I saw in here the wife check with the wife gang. Bring down the wife.
Yeah, bring down the wife.
Catch a Panthers hockey game.
Yep.
Catch Miami Heat game. There's so much to do down here. Make a trip out of it. Enjoy it with the family. I know they haven't announced all the side events that are going to be going on, but for anybody who is at the previous event at SSG, I'm sure there's 95 witnesses, at least the players, right? Absolutely electric player meeting before the tournament kicked off. So many events, so much prizing. It is amazing. Absolutely $10,000 USD.
Just so there's no confusion, that's not for the winner. That's
this is not top prize.
That's the entire prize pool.
That's top cut pricing. That final number is still yet to be determined. I think what we're doing is we're waiting to see how many players sign up. Obviously, we'd love to cap. So share with your friends, your team, your mother, your father.
Make sure you guys sign up early as possible.
Sign up soon.
I guarantee that this is going to cap out. Do not be left behind. Sign up as quickly as possible. Start looking at those flights if you're flying in. Start looking at those hotels. Get in the Discord. If you're looking for any recommendations, we can hit you guys up. The date is going to be February 8th. I know if you want to put it up, February 8th. And again, SSG does their normal Friday locals, which are always popping. So if you guys want to get some reps the day before, this is the place to do it. This is the time to do it. It is going to be electric. I guarantee you it will be the best 10K tournament that you will attend in 2025, unless SSG does another 10K.
And I definitely wanted to add here too, definitely Brian mentioned a good thing. Friday, we will most likely be setting up the final stream setup. So doing like audio, video testing. So a lot of the staff will be there. If you want to come meet us, introduce yourself, play locals. We're a very friendly group. We'd love to learn more about all the Lorcana players, their history in the game, even their history in other TCGs. So please come through. I'd love to, like, especially working with the marketing that I have brand and partnerships. So if you've got something interesting to talk about with SSG, you definitely want to speak to me either there, preferably Friday instead of Saturday. Saturday, you'll be seeing me run around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yep.
But yeah, so hopefully I'd love to see you there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the answer is no on the store credit.
Yeah,
Because
just
it's
pay
done
online.
through it's done through the Melee. And guys, I'm not trying to like scare you into buying this. This thing's gonna cap.
Yep.
Like I'm not
For
trying
sure.
to say like, oh
For
hey,
sure.
you
No
know,
cap.
you need to do
It's
this.
gonna cap.
No
This
cap,
is
it's
gonna cap. So
Not to
if you
scare
have,
anyone, but we're at 30 players already. So
Yeah,
of the 108 cap.
exactly. Like it's definitely gonna cap. So if that day is available for you, I would sign up now. It's gonna be an awesome event. I can't wait.
I'm very excited because it's gonna be my first SSG event. So
Yeah.
All right.
And
So,
for
yeah.
anybody
go.
else, for anybody else, you know, like you guys are here first. You guys are watching this now, so you got the initial heads up about the event. But spread the word, share it on your socials. Even if it gets, ends up capping, there's going to be plenty of side events, plenty of things for anybody else that's attending to do. So new players, come on in. It's going to be an absolute blast. I guarantee it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it caps before midnight tonight.
I think it caps before midnight. We're
Yeah.
at where it's. I'm just refreshing. Every time I refresh it, it goes up.
Not
Yeah.
to compare anything, but you look at CCS, you have a 10K there, and like not to compare tournament organizers or whatnot, but you have a $70 event to a $25 event. The EV on this event is crazy. The odds of you topping, like the environment that you're going to be in, access to the stream, like this event is run so well. I've not had the pleasure of going to CCS, but the way that we run with our TOs, the staff, the passion that the guys at SSG have for this game and the community are just unreal. The owner just pours his heart and soul into everything that he does with this game store.
yeah.
And
true.
like, just it's one of the best environments to be around when you're playing locals, these big tournaments. Like, it's just insane. And just being able to come here on a weekly basis is just one of the best parts of playing in South Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. I wanted to pull this up. And first of all, I want to thank Stefan and SSG for giving the opportunity for us to be able to share this news to all you guys. So thank you for that. And secondly, I wanted to pull this specific comment up because if you're just now getting into the game, I mean, there's no better time than just coming out to your local scene. Whether that, if you are local to SSG, come out. Like, I would say 99% of the players will just play with you and help make a competitive deck, not just one that, hey, here's some pieces or whatever, but they'll help you make a deck.
Yep.
Because this community is that awesome. I played a lot of TCGs my whole life, and I've never seen anything like the Lorcana community. So again, I if you're new, just go out, try to meet your local scene. That would be my my thing.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. And then as far as with deck to play, like honestly, like if you have like a TCG background, like you can kind of find like an aggro version or control whatever you kind of play. Or if not, honestly, just completely honest, find a card you like, find your favorite character, and try to build a deck around it. Like it may not be good, but as long as you have fun and then you kind of like learn about going into stuff, that's a great way to go.
Something else I wanted to mention about SSG is they're going to be the main vendor over at Nationals at the LCQ.
LCQ, yep.
So if you need cards as well, try to get in contact with the staff or the store if you're going to be flying in, or if you're local and you need extra cards to finish out your deck. They have such an abundant card quantity there.
Yep.
Stock, that's the word I'm looking for. They can help you guys out with locating cards. They're going to be at the LCQ, so if you need cards, they're going to be buying cards there. Just such a good store, such a good resource for everyone. Like it's a good resource for South Florida, but they're becoming nationwide now, getting linked up with PPG and such.
Yep, it's actually funny because I bought something on TCG the other day, like a couple weeks ago, and it came from SSG.
That's awesome.
I literally just did optimized card. I'm like, all right, cool, give me the card. It came from SSG. I was like, oh,
nice.
That's hilarious.
For those of you guys that are just joining us, if you guys heard about the 10K announcement and might have missed the previous announcement as we were working up to the big announcement, Freedom Gaming is doing a giveaway as well. We're going to be giving away a Mirabelle Store Championship promo at 300 subs, along with a golden Mickey pin that John picked up at PAX. At 400 subs, we're going to be giving away the non-foil Cusco promo that we'll be receiving at the LCQ this weekend. And then at 500 subs, Joey is going to be giving away a sealed box of the Azurite Sea. And at 1,000 subs, who knows? We might be doing something big here.
I'll throw in a scar for 400 subs because I'm definitely gonna win one.
Ooh, shots
Calling it
called.
out. Yeah.
So
We might-
get on.
And yeah, I don't want to be 300 because I'm not sure it'll be out yet. But for 400, I'll throw a scar in.
Yep, exactly. Who knows?
Nice.
I mean, yeah. Me and Mike might be taking some on when I'm down on the 18th. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining us. Just Stefan, thank you again for hopping in, helping us with the announcement. Obviously, any shout outs for you? Anyone you want to thank? Anything you want to say? The floor is yours. Except Illuminati. Can't talk about Illuminati because
They don't exist.
They don't exist. They don't exist. They're always
Talk
accepting
about it,
applications.
I'd like to thank my non-existent team for every all the hard work that we've done to get where we are. Also, Freedom Gaming, non-team players, just the community in general. Big shout out. Honestly, South Florida Lorcana Network could not be who we are without your support. I know a lot of people say, it's the admins, but really it's a two-way street. So thank you for continuing to come out to these events, supporting the movement, the organization, playing with us, talking Lorcana with us. We have really big things planned for 2025 with SSG, and this is just the start. This tournament's in February. That means there's 10 more months. Imagine what the off season is going to look like.
Yep. After
Just saying, what happens after Worlds? There's not even that. What happens after North American Continentals? Kind of like what else is happening? So I will say SSG is happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
there won't be an off season.
There's no off season.
Pretty much.
No off season.
I thought for sure, prior to the announcement, obviously getting the initial details, I thought it was going to be like another store, for Set 7 release, that it was going to be a big tournament. They're not even waiting for Set 7. We're banging another big tournament out February. So that is amazing. Once again, check out the South Florida Network Discord. Check out SSG Southside Gaming on their Whatnot on YouTube,
Instagram,
Twitter,
any updates. I will say though, the Discord's probably going to be giving you the most up-to-date information for this tournament. So come on in, ask your questions, interact with us. Interact with us, everybody. Just the Lorcana community in general, I think, has been the best TCG community I've been a part of. But South Florida Network, you guys are crushing it. We have so much fun in there. Any events posted anytime somebody wants to come into the South Florida region and they want to play locals or store championships, everything is listed on there. It's going to be an absolute blast of an event.
So
one of the things I want to close out with is we're doing this live. We talked about potentially moving our pod to a live format. Let us know in the comments. We're going to be posting this as a video on the channel to follow up. Let us know in the comments if you like the live setting. If you like the pre-recorded stuff, just let us know what you guys think. If any suggestions that the guys should be playing in the LCQ this next weekend, let us know there, and maybe we can do some surprises.
Definitely. Definitely. Anyone going to LCQ, if you see us, so we're gonna be wearing our hoodies, our jerseys. Again, don't be afraid to come and say hi, talk to us, tell us how much you like the pod. Tell us you think Blurple sucks, even though Mikey will tell you otherwise.
We'll probably
it depends on how the weekend goes.
Exactly.
I could be very approving of that statement. How the weekend
It's
goes.
true. If you see Mike in a side event on a Saturday, then maybe we'll see what happens. If you find out he's in the main event, then yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The
They'll probably, if people are looking for us, they'll probably find us at the SSG booth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
exactly. SSG booth again. Like we'll have we'll have a tripod out, or we'll be recording some content, maybe some interviews. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some fan interviews, ask like favorite card or something like that. We'll see. We gotta talk. We got some content ideas. Maybe even have a live stream on. Me and Brian might do some pack rush on Thursday after we get in.
buddy.
Before Mike gets in, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, thank you once again, Stefan. Thank you, SSG, for the fantastic event. We are all looking forward to it. Like I said, like we all said, sign up now, because if you don't sign up, this thing will cap, and then you'll be very sad you missed out on this.
48 players. We are almost halfway.
Yep,
Wow.
exactly.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Midnight might be the.
Yeah, I think by midnight it's gonna be capped.
So we will see. Again, thank you again to Stefan. Thank you again to SSG. And for the rest of the Freedom Gaming team, I am John. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Peace.
Peace.